Hey Paul, welcome back. Well, your coffee's done. Come on over. What we did here is when I roasted this, I roasted it just a tad above full city roast into what we call a Vienna roast. It's not quite a French roast. If you wanted a French roast, your next order, I'll certainly take it that dark. But the reason I kept it just under a French roast is two reasons. Number one, the quality of this bean is it's very high. So the nuances of the bean, the fruits, the melons, the spices, and especially the Ethiopian yirgacheffe tends to get lost when you bring it to a French roast, because at that point all you're really tasting is actually that burnt flavor of the oils that secrete on top of the bean itself. So I took it to that Vienna roast. That's the first reason. The second reason I did it this way is because you've asked for a percolated grind. Now, because percolated, just by the way that brewing system works, it continuously pumps water across that bean. And if I took it real dark on you, what you're going to end up getting is really an oily, almost a burnt flavored coffee if I were to bring that up to French roast for you. But if that's the way you want it, that's the way you get it next time. But just try it at this roast right now. I think it's going to be dark enough for you. But again, it's your coffee, and we'll roast it any way you want. So I'm going to take off this chaff collector, and I'm going to clean that out. We have to clean that out after every use, so that your coffee doesn't get that skin on top of it. But your coffee's finished. Now, what you probably noticed, I don't know if you got a good look at this when I put the green beans in, but there's significantly less volume of coffee when I put the green beans in. Traditionally, what occurs is that when a green bean is roasted, it increases in size by about 10%, but loses anywhere from 15 to 25% in weight. Reason? Green beans are a lot moisture contained in green beans. And during the roasting cycle, green beans go through two cracking sessions, especially in your roast. The first crack starts at around 8 minutes. And what that does is it superheats the bean to the extent where the water inside there kind of just bursts. And that's called the first crack. And it sounds much like popcorn going off inside of the roaster. Then in your particular roast, at about the 10 to 12 minute mark, depending on the bean and depending on the moisture content, it goes through the second crack. And that's when you're starting to get into those darker roasts like the Vienna roasts and the French roast like I described to you. And what that second crack is actually the oils in the bean get so hot that it just bursts. And that paraffin secretes to the outside of the bean, and over the course of time, maybe about 1 to 2 days, that this bean will become very oily and very wet looking. And that's what happens when you get that really dark roast. So to that end, you've asked for this to be roasted. So I have good news and I have not so good news. The good news is we got it there, and this is going to be a wonderful flavor coffee. The bad news is I can't mail it to you until Tuesday. Coffee has to go through a degassing process. It lasts anywhere from 12 to 36 hours. In that degassing process is where the actual flavor comes from in coffee. Coffee is a very complex product, material, and when it's roasted, it goes through a very complex transformation. And in that transformation, cells burst and it releases carbon dioxide, and in that carbon dioxide release actually flavors the beans. 1 pound of beans gives off a half a cubic yard of carbon dioxide, and that carbon dioxide is replaced in the bean by oxygen, and oxygen is a coffee taste killer. So by all means, if you're not going to use this the next 30 days, roll this package down that I give you, roll it really tight for every bit of coffee you use, and you can wrap a rubber band around it and put it in the freezer. Don't put it in the fridge, because humidity is the other coffee killer, and the refrigerators have a lot of humidity. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put it inside your bag. I'm going to let it sit on my counter and let it degas for 24 hours. By this time tomorrow night, I'll be actually putting it through my grinder here. custom set to your percolator, and then we'll be putting it in the mail to you Tuesday morning. So it should be to you around Wednesday or Thursday at the latest. So I'll do that right now. Pour it in the container, and this allows me to get them all in the bag, almost all in the bag there. Put it all in. Wow, that really did expand. Those beans just blew up. And that's going to be some good coffee. That Ethiopian yogurt chef mixed with that Java is good choice, Paul. Really good choice. So we'll put the tins on here. Wrap the tins. Here's your pound of coffee, sir. Paul, thank you very much for your order. Enjoy, and hope to hear from you again.